Hi, welcome to Coral Ruts. I'm Adrian. This is my husband Eddie, a reluctant participant in the channel. Meet our golden retriever, Carol. Claire joins us as a special guest from time to time. And we live in Cape Coral, Florida. This channel is devoted to all things living that summer 365 lifestyle. Follow along as I serial start new projects and learn from YouTube University.
Ciao ragazzi! Welcome back to Coral Ruts. I am starting a sourdough starter series. I've had friends and family that have asked me specifically how I do mine. The reason why I am doing it, twofold. One, my niece asked me, so she's been really interested in doing sourdough starter and learning how to do it. And then number two, while I think a lot of people say I do sourdough the easy way, I don't actually find their way that easy. Also, I guess number three from my list before that, I only said two, but now we're adding on a third one. Third reason, I think they all use way too much flour, and there's a lot of waste in all of the videos that I have seen. I don't do that. Now at the beginning there is a little bit of waste, but now I don't have discard. I just don't. We're gonna start from scratch. And we're gonna do it as easy as possible, and I hope this translates as easy. I'm just gonna use my all-purpose flour. I do get organic all-purpose flour, and probably going with an organic flour will make your process easier because an organic flour doesn't have additional chemicals and stuff that were used in the growing of it. So in theory, the yeast will feed and they should feed more rapidly. That's my theory. I don't know if that's scientifically true, but I'm pretty sure it's true. Do the best you can with whatever flour you have. Try to do the organic flour, but if you have just regular all-purpose flour on hand right now and you're just like, I just want to try it, go for it. Number two, water. So I don't think maybe they do reference it, but I don't think they stress it enough. You cannot use your water out of your sink if it's not filtered. It can't, and the reason for that is water, like your city water, usually contains something that was used to make it clean. Chlorine, fluoride, other chemicals are in it, and those chemicals will most definitely affect your rise for your yeast in the starter. If you've had problems before, if you've tried to start it and you're like, God, it just will not bubble, everybody's on the internet, it bubbles, that might be a huge reason why you're using water that's basically killing the yeast. To remedy that, I would highly recommend that you get like bottled spring water. You could use filtered water, but like what's the brand? Not all of them remove fluoride and chlorine, so you're gonna need to be careful and like read what the carbon filter says. Like a Berkey is perfect. We have whole house reverse osmosis, like our whole house is on that, so my water coming out of my sink is already filtered. So if you see me using my sink water, it's because it's filtered. We've got flour and water, and the other thing that you will need, and I don't think this is a negotiable, would be a kitchen scale. Now I know this seems really fancy and bougie, and probably if you really can't get one of these, you might be able to figure it out. It's just this makes it easier, and I think this was like less than $10 from the Amazon Fairy, so highly worth it. We are on day one. We got nothing started. First step, get your clean glass container, bowl, whatever. Put it on the scale, and on the scale, there's gonna be the measurements. And what we wanna do is hit this button called tare, and it zeroes it out. So right now, the weight of the glass is now at 0, and it makes for easier measuring. Step 1. Step 2 is we're going to add our water. And the water that we're gonna add is 30 grams of water. Now your water should be warm, but not hot. So think warm enough, like if you were to give a baby a bath, you wouldn't put them in cold water and you wouldn't put them in water that's too hot. That's the temperature that you want your water to be. I mean, and that's, see, there's like a little blurb. I gotta dump a little bit out. 30 grams, it's not a lot. We'll call 29 close enough. Next up, we will be putting in our flour. And the flour amount is 60 grams. So basically half the amount of water to the flour weight. So let's get that measured out. So first I'm going to tare this out. So it goes to 0. Now the water and the glass are at 0, and we need to put 60 grams of our flour into our container. Of course, I have the wrong size scoop for this, so that's going to be perfect. Oh man. Oh, Adrienne, you're so messy. So hold on, we're probably already at 60 in there because we've got spillage. Let's get the spillage off of there. Remember, it's still tared, so I'm not trying to touch anything here. $56 grams. Probably should get a spoon at this point. 7, 62. Let's pull a little tiny bit of that out. Ooh, look at that. 60 grams. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is stir this. Now remember, we only have 30 grams of water in here to 60 grams of flour. So it's going to be really dry and hard to mix. Can you see that? And this I oftentimes like doing with a fork, but since, you know, I grabbed that spoon, we're just going to do it with a spoon. Now, the longer it sits here, the flour will absorb more of this water moisture in here. So right now it's probably not mixed well enough. I'm going to let it sit for a second, and then we'll give it a stir while I pick up my inevitable mess that I make on every project. Just going to keep, again, it's very, very dry because it's only 30 grams of water. And actually, if you remember, we were a little under, so I might put a drop in here of water, because it is pretty dry. But when I say a drop, like a little tiny bit. Okay, so I'm gonna stir it. We're gonna get it as incorporated as we can. It's, you know, pretty dry, but that's okay. And it's okay because having more of the flour in here is actually gonna help to get going and feed yeast. So cover on it, not tight. You want it to be a loose cover. So I'm just literally going to set it on it. And in preference, you would put it somewhere a little bit dark, but you don't want to forget about it. So you might just want to throw a towel on it and be annoyed by the fact that you have something extra on your counter, which is what we're going to do. So we're just going to take our towel. Oh, that's heavy. We are going to cover you up. Try to get it so that it's tucked in there. And now we wait 2 days. Set a calendar reminder, you know, hey, whatever device you have, remind me on July 24th to feed my starter. Side note, my kitchen, once you start cooking with sourdough starter and you have an active sourdough starter, your kitchen populates with the yeast, like in the air, the little microscopic yeast, which sounds kind of gross, but it's kind of cool. So my starter probably will grow faster than yours, but the steps are going to remain the same. But just know mine will probably go faster. You're not a loser or a failure. It's just that my kitchen already has the yeast in it. And then number 2, if you're watching this in the summer, it's the best time, or a really good time I should say, to start a starter, because most likely it's warmer in your house. Even if you have AC on, it's warmer in your house than if it's winter. And it's probably, unless you live in the desert, I guess that's different, probably has a little bit more humidity in your house, even with the AC on, than it would in the winter. So it's a really, really great time to start a starter. Now, if you're watching this in the winter, don't be sad. You can still do it then too. It just might take a couple of extra days because it's going to be cooler and drier because it's winter. This is the next day. I was thinking this morning that I told you guys to wait the 2 days for the starter, but I want to check on it just because I know we were a little bit low on liquid. I want to look, maybe it needs like a couple of drops of water just to really mix it better before the full 2 days is up. So it's okay to look at your little starter as it's starting. So I haven't looked at it, I haven't touched it. Yeah, I'm glad I did because it's really dry. So definitely needed a little bit more water than what I gave it. So I'm just going to, I don't know, splash it a little. And I do have one of these spirals. My mom got it for me. She sent it to me through the Amazon fairies. And it does work. Oops, can't see. It does work pretty good, but again, you can just use a spoon. Let's get this thing mixed up a little bit more. That'll help. Oh, I'm also making bacon if you hear that in the background. This helps get it, you see, all that flour mixed up. And then the yeast can start to feed on. And the other thought I had was, I had said that my kitchen already has the active, like the live yeast kind of floating around. If you use a lot of bleach to clean your kitchen, or like chemicals to clean your kitchen, you're probably going to have a longer time getting your starter to start than somebody who doesn't, because you're basically using bleach or germ killer type chemicals. Yeah, you're killing like the bad guys, but you're killing all your good guys in the kitchen as well. So maybe don't use that. Just saying. Use like a vinegar or whatever, and that does naturally disinfect, but also doesn't kill everything. I use Branch Basics, hashtag not sponsored. They don't even know who I am, but I do have a little, I think it's an affiliate thing. I've never had anybody click on it. So in full disclosure, I don't know if I get anything from it. If I do, I will let you know. But I think it just gives you like a percentage off. Okay, this looks good. So that seems much more mixed, and we're gonna cover it up. We'll check in with it tomorrow. Time to check. So we are on day, well, technically day 3, but 48 hours from the initial very first day we started. Yesterday we took a peek at it, decided it was a little... Carol's playing with her pig. Perfect. Why not? As soon as I hit record, it's like little children, right? They gotta immediately come by you and they know you're in the bathroom or on the phone. Anyway, let's take a peek. I have not looked. I wanted to, but I waited for you guys. Ooh, okay. So, I already have bubble action. Yours most likely does not. Don't feel like you failed. Remember, my kitchen, I've been baking with my sourdough starter since we moved to Florida 4 years ago. So my kitchen is very well populated with the natural yeast. But let's pretend like I have no bubbles, okay? Because yours might not have any bubbles, but it might be, you know, this kind of liquidy on the inside. When you smell it, it should smell very like pungent, like very yeasty, strong. It's not going to have the good sourdough yeast smell yet because it's not developed enough yet. But anyway, so what we're going to do is take part or most of this. I think I said in the very first chunk of this episode that I don't do a lot of discard. In the beginning though, you will need to do some discard just because it would be a lot of flour to add to this quantity of flour and water mixture. Your container, clean. It's not been sterilized, but you know, clean. We're going to do just like we did the last time. We're gonna put our container on here. We're going to, it already teared because I literally just used it. So we're gonna tear it out. Remember, tear it out means put it to 0 if you aren't familiar with that. If you hear breathing in the background, that's my dog. So I'm gonna take the scoop. Now, oh, also, if your starter has like a weird colored crust on the top, just push that to the side. It's not ruined. Also, this is easier if you use like an open glass, like Tupperware container. Use glass, not plastic, and use glass, not metal. It just works better. I've got roughly 46 grams. I do still have a little bit left over. If you wanted to, you could make pancakes and add this to the batter. Perfectly fine. Or add this if you're making bread just using like regular yeast. That also would be perfectly fine. So tear it out. And then I'm gonna add roughly 15 grams of water, which is not a lot. So I added 19, it's fine. We're close enough. And then we need to stir this. You could use a regular spoon. I'm gonna use my Sourdough as I previously showed. But if you used your spoon, it would be perfectly fine. And basically what we're doing right now is we're stirring this to make it be like very loose skim milk consistency. Get it all as much as you can. Scrape down whatever you got stuck on the side of your container. That's what I do. Okay, so that's roughly, you know, kind of a thick skim milk situation. And then next we are going to tear that out again and add roughly, so I had 15, a little bit more than that, grams of the water, and now we need roughly-ish 30 grams of flour. So we're gonna add that in, and it will be quick because we're doing such small amounts. So that was 15 grams, 19, 20, I guess. I'm gonna start stirring it here. The key, it doesn't have to be like super, super exact. It's just to get it to be the right consistency. I feel like this is gonna be about it. So what we want is for it to become a very, like, too thick of pancake batter consistency. Like if you were to try to pour this and use, like, make a pancake, it's not gonna spread out on your pan. That's what we're going for. So stirring up that new flour as good as we can. So I'm kind of shoving it down, giving it like flat on the bottom here. You see? Yes, you can. Go to this side. So that's about what we're going for. And then we're going to take our new one, loosely put the cover on. You don't have to like shut it in. It needs a little bit of oxygen, it needs to breathe. And then we're going to give it some darkness again. Put it up on our put it up on our shelf or wherever you're putting it so you don't forget about it. Set your timer and see you tomorrow. We are on day, what is this, day 3 of mixing it? And in full disclosure, this is actually a day later. We were supposed to mix it yesterday. I forgot. So, you know, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Ooh,
definitely has that like yeasty smell. Again, mine's already starting to do the bubbly thing because of course we do have the active yeast in here. And you know what? I got out another glass container, but I feel like I can probably just add to this. Yeah, because I don't have any gross stuff on the top. There's not like a crust. If yours had a crust on it, you'd want to scrape that away and then pull all the good stuff from the bottom. But mine doesn't. It's really bubbly, so okay. So we're gonna do the same thing as we did before. We're gonna tear it out. We're gonna go about 15 grams-ish of water. 20 grams, there we go. See, it's not exact. And then we gotta stir it, make it skim milky. Scrape down my sides. Probably a little too much water, so try to not do that much because it's gonna make it really, really skim milky. See? Nice. I just splashed it. Good job. All right, and then from there, let's tear it out again. Roughly-ish 30 grams of flour. Because we're doing double the amount of flour to the water that we added. Okay, 29 grams, 29, 30, whatever. So we're gonna mix it and then we'll kind of go from there and see what the consistency is. We're going for too thick pancake batter. Again, yours, if you're in a kitchen that's never had the active yeast, it's gonna take a few more days, so you're not doing it wrong. We're just gonna keep doing this exact same thing. Oh, there we go. And that's it for today. Cover it back up, put it on your shelf. See you tomorrow. That time again. I'm actually making bread with my starter, so that's the noise you hear. So let's take a peek. Ooh. Yep, seeming very starter-like, very starter-like. Okay, so today we're at it's actually still pretty poofy, I think. Halfway. We are gonna pull some out today, so let's do this. This is our discard from a couple days ago, remember? Let's take a yeah, that looks really, really good. I just took like a scoop out. Which leaves, if I squish it all down and get all the air out, I don't know, a little over a big old spoonful, so that's about right. Go back to our scale. Tear it out. Remember, we're only doing about 15 grams of water. Every time I say that, let's stir it. Skim milk. So now we're gonna tear it out. Put about 30 in. I put a little extra water, so. Actually 30. I just used my spoon, but. Alright, stir this till it gets to extra thick pancake. Cover it up. See you tomorrow.
We're on my new phone. Hopefully it is good quality or it looks nice. And I got a microphone. As you can see, it's bright yellow. Let's see what it looks like. I haven't looked. I don't cheat. Oh, actually not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, it looks really good. Here. Let's see. I'm going to go over here so I can see. All right, actually that looks really good. You can see it's pretty dried out on that, the top of it. Because it's not even moving. So if I kind of break that crust, oh my gosh, it actually looks really good, guys. If I give it a stir, just to break up all those bubbles. If there would have been like dark, like anything that looked kind of gross on the top or like liquid, I would have poured that off or scraped that off instead of just stirring it, but mine didn't have that. So I'm going to just stir it and kind of use it as is. So that's what it looks like right after I started stirring it. And then we're going to do our same thing here. We will tear it out. For whatever reason, I don't know why it's on ounces, so let's go back to grams, splitted it to grams. There's like a big splotch of something. Let's just pretend like we don't see that. Tear it out, get it to 0. Oh, and I teared it with the spoon in, so now I'm just gonna have to measure it with the spoon in. So we're gonna do about 15 grams of water. Yeah, let's call it good. So we'll give it a stir. So we can get to that milk, skim milk consistency. And I didn't dump any out, so this is going to probably be a little thicker than skim milk, but I'm just going to call it all right. Like I said, I do it pretty flexible. I'm not, like the rules are helpful, but also kind of go with what's working, what's looking good. There we go. So that's thin. It's probably like too thin for pancake batter, but we're not to like the thick pancake batter, which is what we're going to do next. So we're going to tear that out. And now we are on 30 grams of flour. 15 should probably be roughly 2 scoops here. Oh my gosh. Do you see that? Right on the money, 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 money. That doesn't happen every time, so that's exciting for me. All right, let's give it a stir. Now, because it already was that thicker, it's going to be a little harder to mix, so I might put a dab of the water in here. We'll see. Actually, if I had my Sourdough, it might be easier, but this is already dirty, so we'll just go with this one. So this is a little bit thicker, but whoopsie, still thicker pancake consistency. I was doing some editing, like putting all the clips together, and one thing that I think I skimmed over was the discard. So we didn't have a lot if you compare to other people doing starters. There wasn't a lot, but I did put that little bit in the fridge. Just to reiterate, you can add that to anything that's battery. So pancakes, if you are making bread and you're using like the active yeast until your starter's going, you can put it in there. You could add it to cookie dough. You could add it to banana, like you could add it to anything that you would bake like dough-like, and it'll just add to it. It's not that big a deal. And you don't even really have to alter your recipe, because unless you have a massive quantity, it's not going to deter or change the recipe at all or much. That's the whole purpose of having like the smaller amounts that we're doing versus these huge additions and then getting rid of all of it as a discard. Oh yeah, she's looking good. She's looking good. Yeah, this is what we want. We want to see all this active bubbles. It's doubled in size. So when we mixed it and stirred it, it was here. We want it's doubled, literally what that means. And then it looks like this on the inside. It's not dried, but it's like firm on the surface. Again, I've said this in the other clips, but if yours has any sort of like liquid or it's kind of discolored, just scrape that off, discard it, and all the good stuff is below it. So never throw it away. Like, don't think, oh my gosh, it's rotten. No, it's not. It's perfectly fine. you'll be fine. But anyway, so let's take a peek here. I'm trying to get you and also me. So, oh, look at that. That looks awesome. Look at all that air. That's what we want to see. So I'm just gonna push it down, and in doing so, all that air goes away. That was established by the growing yeast. And see where we're at quantity-wise. I might end up taking a little bit and, hi. I might take a little bit and add it to that discard that I did put in the fridge, that little bit that we were just talking about, just because this is, oh wow, this looks so, it looks really good. Oh, hi. And it smells, I think I said bread in another video. So it smells to me bread-like, but it's sour, like sourdough, but not the first day smell. So when you started it, after that first 48 hours, it should have had more of like that pungent, I guess, thicker, striking smell. This is a little more like sour bread, yeasty smell. Oh, I might not even need to remove it. So if you can see, I'm trying to get it so that you can see on the side of the glass. Now, when I pushed all that air down, this is the actual quantity that we were in. So it actually had more than doubled. That's exciting, exciting. Yeah, I think I'm just going to add to this because it's not that much in here. And tare, 0. And I have this in there, so I got to remember that I'm weighing it with the spurtle in. 5, 10, 13, 15 on the nose. Woo! We always celebrate when you're making your bread and it works. Okay, let's give her a stir. Because I didn't remove any and it's a larger quantity, we may end up adding more liquid, but we'll see. I always like to play that by ear based on the conditions in your kitchen. Remember, the measurement is to give you a basis to start on, but what you're going for in the end is the consistency, what it looks like and how it feels when you stir it. So, where are you? Beep, boop, boop. Getting to know my new phone. So, it's probably a little thicker than thin pancake. It's definitely thicker than what do you call it? Skim milk. But like I said, we'll go from here. So we're gonna tear it out. Now we're gonna go with approximately 30 grams, so double the flour. 20, 19, whatever. That feels good, doesn't it? That was roughly. And again, because we had the thicker consistency, hold on, I'm going to do it off of there so I'm not pushing on it. Stir it to try to get all the flour incorporated. It's so sticky. I'm trying to get it all the way down there and then like not hanging out at the top because that's where it gets real thick and crusty, but inevitably you have it. So there we go. Pretty good consistency. We're going to see if this is our last feeding day and if we can now move on to using our starter. Woo! Like fireworks. How do we know that the starter is ready to use? Instead of taking a full 24 hours from the time we feed it until the next feeding, we're going to actually start to watch our starter to see how it reacts in a shorter amount of time. If it doubles in size in basically less than a 24-hour period, I really like to see it double like on that same day. So if you're feeding it in the morning, by that evening, it should have doubled or almost doubled. Then you know you've got a nice active starter that's prime and ready to go. We're going to feed it. We're going to do the exact same thing. It's been fed and I have pushed all of the contents down to here. I've marked it with a rubber band so we know where we're starting from. And basically our goal is to at least double, maybe a little bit more, in less than 24 hours. Ideally, before the end of the evening. You're going to set it for about 4 hours and see where you're at, and then we'll go from there. If it doesn't double in the less than 24 hours, and ideally in less than like 6 or 8 hours, then we're going to continue with the same process we've been doing until we can get the starter to grow quick enough in a shorter amount of time.